Undercover police captain faces racism, a shocking arrest in Rivermont. What happened next will shock you. It was a calm morning in Rivermont. The sun hung low in the sky, casting soft golden hues over the city streets. Birds chirped in the distance, and the neighborhood bustled with the quiet rhythm of early risers. Coffee shops brewed their first pots, joggers trotted along sidewalks, and the world seemed for a moment at peace. But not every morning brings peace. Sometimes, the calm is shattered by a storm of injustice. In this particular neighborhood, a man strolled casually down the street. He wasn't dressed to stand out, just a simple gray t-shirt, blue jeans, and sneakers. He carried no bags, no visible signs of wealth or status, just himself. To anyone paying attention, he looked like a man on his way to run an errand or meet a friend, but not to her. Officer Karen Daniels, a patrol officer, noticed him from her squad car. She wasn't new to the force, far from it. She had a reputation, though not the kind anyone would celebrate. She claimed to have a sharp instinct for spotting suspicious behavior, a skill she boasted about often. But too many in her precinct whispered about her selective enforcement of the law. And this morning, her instincts led her to one conclusion: the man didn't belong. Pulling her car to the curb, she stepped out with a brisk authority, her hand already resting on the holster of her gun. She called out, "Excuse me, sir." The man turned, his expression calm but questioning. "Yes, officer," he replied. "What are you doing in this neighborhood?" she asked, her tone sharp, almost accusatory. "I live here," he said simply, gesturing towards the nearby row of houses. Her eyes narrowed. "Can I see some ID?" The man sighed, his voice steady but tinged with irritation. "Why? Am I being accused of something?" She didn't answer his question. Instead, she pressed, "Show me your ID." The man hesitated, then spoke firmly. "I'm a police officer. I'm on duty, undercover." It should have ended there. Any reasonable person would have taken a moment to verify his claim, but Officer Daniels didn't. "Undercover?" she scoffed. "Dressed like that? Do you think I'm stupid?" Her disbelief quickly escalated into action. Without waiting for his response, she radioed in what she described as a possible suspect in an ongoing investigation. Moments later, backup arrived. 2 more officers stepping out of their cars with tension in their posture. The man repeated himself, calmly but with growing frustration. "I'm a cop. I've told you that 3 times now. Check my badge number. It's in the system." But his words fell on deaf ears. Officer Daniels ignored him, her focus laser sharp on proving her assumptions. She accused him of money laundering, claiming he fit the description of someone involved in a recent case. The absurdity of the accusation hung in the air, but no one challenged her. As the man was handcuffed and pushed into the back of the squad car, he looked around the neighborhood. People stood at their windows, some peeking from behind curtains, others standing on porches, watching. But no one intervened. No one spoke up. He called out for help, his voice carrying through the quiet street. "I am a police officer. Someone call my precinct. This is wrong." But his cries were met with silence. The onlookers turned away, retreating into the safety of their homes. Hours passed. He sat in a holding cell, humiliated, his dignity stripped away as officers around him smirked or avoided his gaze altogether. It wasn't until the precinct captain arrived, a man who recognized the so-called suspect immediately, that the nightmare ended. This wasn't just any officer. This man was Captain Eric Lewis, a veteran on the force for over 2 decades. Known for his leadership, fairness, and dedication to justice, Captain Lewis was in the middle of an undercover operation to investigate corruption within the city's neighborhoods. He had deliberately dressed down to avoid drawing attention. The revelation hit the department like a thunderclap. Whispers of disbelief turned into loud conversations. Officer Daniels, once so confident in her actions, now stood pale and shaken as the truth unraveled. Captain Lewis was released immediately, but the damage had been done. The shame of the incident was etched into every interaction that followed. When the story broke publicly, outrage swept through the city. Protests erupted, demanding accountability and justice. Social media buzzed with hashtags like "Justice for Eric" and "Say No to Racism" as people from all walks of life came together to denounce the systemic issues that had led to this moment. For Officer Daniels, there was no escape from the consequences of her actions. She was suspended for 6 months without pay and required to undergo intensive courses on racial bias, cultural sensitivity, and the ethics of policing. Some argued the punishment wasn't enough, while others believed it was a step in the right direction. As for Captain Lewis, he returned to his duties with a renewed sense of purpose, but the experience left a mark. He spoke publicly about the ordeal, using it as a platform to advocate for deeper changes within the police force. "This isn't just about me," he said during a press conference. "It's about every man, woman, and child who's been judged not for their character, but for the color of their skin. We must do better, all of us." The calm morning in Rivermont had ended in chaos, but from that chaos came a wave of determination. People began to ask harder questions, challenge ingrained biases, and demand transparency from those sworn to protect and serve. And while the road to justice is long, it's moments like these, moments of truth and reckoning, that remind us why the fight is worth it. Racism, unchecked power, and silence in the face of injustice can only thrive if we let them. So the next time you see someone being treated unfairly, ask yourself, will I stand by or will I stand up? Because change starts with us, all of us. This story is a reminder of the work that remains to be done. Together, we can build a world where justice and equality aren't just words, but a reality. Let's stand united, and let's never stop fighting for what's right.
If you've watched this far, comment which country you're watching from, and leave a 100 in the comment section, because you are type of person that likes to finish what they started. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to get notified whenever we drop new videos.